What's up? What's up? What's up? It's Coach Nick Money in the house. Huh. With the indelible one, DBL Nicks by my side. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. We also have the bushy tail Serengeti specialist. She's already prowling the Serengeti for the next parabolic run.
Sure.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you're not subscribed to the YouTube channel, go ahead and subscribe to the YouTube channel and do what this young man says.
Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, as well as ring that bell icon to stay notified when new videos are uploaded. And remember to share.
Let's get that share party going on right now. Let's go. Let's go. Let's get it on. Let's get it on because we're gonna have a show here. We're gonna have a show here. And you're gonna want to follow us on x.com, aka Twitter, at Coach Nick Money.
At Coaching Money.
At Coach Nick Money. Nobody posts about this microcap market more effectively, more often than us. So go ahead and subscribe. Subscribe, I tell you.
Right.
Actually, it's follow, right? For Twitter, it's follow.
It's
X.com.
following on X. But
Yeah, on X, it's follow.
subscribing on
Follow.
YouTube.
Yeah, follow.
And sometimes on Twitch.
Yeah, there you go.
Follow on Twitch, though, too.
So, it's also at Coach Nick Money for Twitch, Facebook, and Instagram.
At Coaching Money.
At Coach Nick Money, of course. And then, of course, there's TikTok at DBL Nicks.
At DBL Nicks.
At DBL NICK. At DBL NICKS, and the screen name is Coach Nick Money.
Coach
I need
Nick
some
Money.
espresso doubles. I need some espresso, yo. Espresso ice time. Oh yeah. All right, so we're going to be streaming live on social media platforms right now. And then after that, we're going to be doing our live stream on the Discord. We're going to do something a little bit different today. It's going to be a little bit more analyzing stocks. I'm going to be a little bit more serious, at least for a while. You know, give you a flavor, a little bit about how the Discord rolls. Okay, it's going to be even more in depth in the Discord, but we'll give you a little bit about how it goes here. All right. And of course, if you want to come and check out the Discord after the live stream, there is a special for a 4-day trial at $1.99 in the description and in the pinned comment. So go ahead and click that link and take advantage of that special. And of course, you'll also have access to the early alerts on all the parabolic runners that we call, like HOVR, which we called earlier in the morning before it ran 126%. PWM actually called that for the Discord on Friday, and of course at 4 a.m. Eastern Standard Time this morning before it ran 110%. CERO, we called it before it ran 187% this morning. A couple of baby ones. SGN, 85%. SUGP, 77%. REVB, 63%. You know how we do doubles. You know how we do. You know what I mean? Keep these on a little side chart just to keep an eye on them. So let's see what's going on. We got the Serengeti specialist right now letting me know that CERO is now up 200%. Let's get right into it. CERO. Let's go. CERO. Let's get that share party going on. There's only 50 people in here. Come on now. You got to motivate me. Y'all want me to do this? Come on now. Come on. Share. Let's go. Come on. Give me something. You guys share. It'll help the stream grow. It'll help us put out more content. Come on now. Let's get that share party going. Come on now. All right. So we're looking at CERO. It is a cheapo stock. It's going to be choppy. It's going to be very, very volatile. It's currently up 190%. 20-cent stock float, 27 million. Volume, 73 million. Sero Therapeutics Inc. presents preclinical data demonstration. CER-1236 killing ovarian cancer cells lines without toxicity. That was at 8:15 in the morning. We're looking at the 1-minute chart. Let's switch over. Let's clear it up. Let's get rid of some of these indicators, make it a little bit easier to read. Let's go and do that first. Come on now. Right here. We're going there. All right. So let's create a level on CERO. That's the first thing we want to do. We can see right off the bat on the 1-minute chart, there's a lot of top tails. Top tails basically indicate a diminishment in buyer sentiment, if you will. So right now you've got 1, 2, 3 top tails. It's the 1 minute chart. We could see that the RSI is in the overbought area. You could see that the last 3 candles have been red, and we can see that the candles are diminishing in size. So clearly the buyer sentiment is starting to pull back. Let's take a look at what it looks like on the 5 minute chart. Looking at the 5 minute chart, you can see it's absolutely extended. It needs to pull back. This is a parabolic run straight up, and when you see stuff like this, a lot of times the stock needs to pull back, especially when you have a sub-dollar stock. It's going to be very, very volatile. Let's zoom in a little bit, take a look at it a little bit more clearly. You could see also over here a head and shoulders pattern forming on the 5 minute chart. Let's go ahead and mark that out. Here's your head right here. You have the shoulder right here and the shoulder right here. So it's a head and shoulders pattern. That is a bear pattern. That pattern suggests that buyer sentiment has clearly diminished, and we're probably looking at a reversal situation where the price action is going to pull back. Let's see what it looks like on the 1 minute, folks. We're at 61 people in the Discord. Let's get this thing up to over 100. Come on now, it's Monday morning. Let's get some parabolic runners. Go ahead and share. Come on, let's get it to 100. 200. Here we go. All right, so right now we're looking at the 1 minute chart. It is breaking out off of this shoulder, but my concerns are that this potentially could be a bull trap trying to lure people into buying at this level, because at the end of the day you have a head and shoulders pattern on the 5 minute, and you have a triple top over here. So what we need to do is see a clear break of the 22-cent mark to make sure that this in fact is an actual breakout. There is news on this, and this is the leading gapper, so it could very well break out, even though it looked like it was forming a head and shoulders pattern. But we need to see a clear break from this level in order to feel confident that this is an actual breakout and not just a bull trap luring people into getting into this position and then a quick reversal from there. So right now we're looking at it, it's at 214%, but look at that top tail. Look at that top tail. We need to see a lot of volume get in on this 1 minute candle. Let's take a look at what the volume is. It does have 4.6 million shares right now, but again, keep in mind the float is 27 million. It is an inexpensive stock, so the float being a little bit heavier can be not as big of an issue. We do have a lot of volume at 82 million, but again, look at that false breakout. If we can't get through this top, this head right here, then the stock could clearly start curling downward. Now, that being said, we could also be seeing the beginning of a potential bull pattern right over here, which would be a wedge right here, a wedge formation, but it is unclear what we're doing. This is not good, okay? A top tail like that is clearly an indication of indecisiveness on the buyer's part. However, this could potentially lead to a breakout, so it's unclear. It's either a head and shoulders pattern or a bull pennant, but this top tail does not make me feel too secure. Let's go to the 5 minute chart, take a look at the 5 minute chart. And again, very, very, very extended. Let's leave a mark right over here at the high level. The high level is right over here. And we have a top tail wick. Let's zoom in. And it's a top tail wick, and it's not breaking this head area. So again, the head and shoulders pattern is here, here, and here, right? 1, 2, 3, and then when we go to the 1 minute chart, we potentially have an unclear message of either a head and shoulders pattern or a bull pennant. To me, it looks more bearish. I'm a little concerned about this top tail right here, and I feel that this could potentially be a trap, a bull trap. So unless a nice surge of volume comes in and we see a break of this level right over here, 2178, I'll leave a marker over here for us, 2778. Let's create the alert. I need to see a lot of volume come in, and I need to see a clear break to feel that this is actually a bull pennant. Frog is in the house. What's up, Frog? Welcome. Welcome. All right, so we're at 72 people in this chat. I'm getting bored. Come on, let's share it. Let's get over 100. You know, if y'all want me to do this, I gotta get some people in here. Otherwise, what are we doing? I'm gonna stop doing these streams. Not gonna bother for 72 people. It's not enough. You know what I mean? You're wasting my time. Come on now, let's share. Let's get this going on. Y'all want me to do it? Y'all gotta help me out. All right? Y'all gotta help me out. You got clowns out here getting thousands of people and they don't even know what they're talking about. Come on now. Come on, share. Let's go. All right. So right now we're trying to determine whether or not CERO is going to have a bull pennant or a head and shoulders. To me, it looks more like a head and shoulders at this point. But if it gets volume, we could get a breakout. We need to see a clear break of 21.85 for me to feel confident that that's exactly what's going on. We can see that this candle right now has 1.3 million shares on it, 1.3 million, but the most of the candles prior to that were in the 4.5 million area. So clearly it's pulling out. So look at that. All right, so there goes the breakdown. Right, so it clearly was not a bull pennant. So what I typically do in situations like this, and I'm not giving you financial advice or stock advice. I'm not a stock or financial advisor. I'm just doing a show. You need to do your own due diligence. Okay, this is just a show. Okay, when I see a situation like this where there's a lot of top tails, okay, and I start seeing a breakout from a head and shoulders pattern, if it can't break the head level, which it didn't, so let me remove that fake pennant that was forming there. Okay, let's remove that. Okay, hold on a second. Let's get rid of that. Let's get rid of this over here. Okay, so when I see a potential breakout from a head and shoulders pattern, I always say to myself, well, can it break the head level? And if I see a top tail like this, then it seems to me that what we have is an algorithmic type of a spike, okay, that's designed to lure potential buyers into following into a move and then reversing, okay, reversing the move. So the algorithmic spike causes the illusion of the price moving upward. You start chasing it, right? An investor starts, a trader starts chasing it, jumps in, and then all of a sudden the algorithmic spike cashes out, drops the price, and you have a reversal. And that's exactly what you had. You had a head and shoulders pattern that tried to make a formation of a bull pennant, but you saw that each candle was starting to diminish in volume, and what ended up happening, you ended up having that reversal. So this is what it looks like now on the 1 minute. If we go to the 5 minute, we could zoom in. You could see right off the bat without zooming in, you could see that it is super extended and was certainly well overdue for a reversal, right? And then when we zoom in, you could see that there was a shoulder over here, there was a shoulder right here, okay, and that the head was over here, and it broke through the head and shoulders, but it just couldn't hold it. Look at that. Okay, and when you see a big topping tail like that, that makes this particular stock not very trustworthy. In addition to that, it's already up 200 some odd %. Now it is the leading gainer. Okay, it's the leading gainer, so that's a good thing. Okay, but for now it's pulling back, so we'll see what happens. Let's take a look at another ticker. Let's see what else is coming out. We have another ticker that's on the scanner, NUWE. Typed it wrong. New keyboard, getting used to the new keyboard, and you had to put the old keyboard to rest. NUWE, here we go, here we go, here we go. All right, so this is on the 5 minute chart, looks kind of like a little, I won't say a dead cat bounce, but kind of sort of like that. Let's go to 1 minute chart, take a look at what the 1 minute chart looks like. 1 minute chart looks kind of sort of like a cup and handle pattern forming. What do we got here? It's up 31%. The float 1.3 million. Volume 3.8 million, 4 million. Let's call it 4 million. They showed earnings and revenue of 2.34, which missed by 0.06 million. This was at 8.05. That's the news on it. Doesn't have a heck of a lot of volume. Let's zoom in and see what the last candle is doing. Last candle has about 120,000 volume, 120,000 volume. Folks, we're at 97 people. Let's get that share. Let's get over 100 people. Come on now. Come on, let's go. Let's get over 100. Share, share, share. Come on, let's get it going. The more y'all share, the more the stream grows, the more I can give you content. Come on now. Come on now. Come on and let's do it. Let's get over the 100. Let's get over 100. I'm gonna have some espresso ice while y'all share. Go ahead. Madam Serengeti Specialist. Anything new? Do we have something? Do we have anything on the Serengeti? Have you been able to snarl another parabolic runner for us? Another one? Another one. Another one. Another one. Come on now. Okay, let's see what else we got. What else we got? Let's see. Let's see. Still looking. Still looking. Looking at the screens. Looking at the screens. Yeah. Nothing really that interesting. Let's check out REVB. It ran earlier in the morning. REVB ran earlier in the morning, and it was up 63%. 63%. Let's go check it out right now, see what it's doing right now. All right. And it's pretty much selling off, so this one's not really that interesting whatsoever at this point. It needs to break that downward trend. It's below VWAP. It's below VWAP. Float is 1.6 million. The volume is 14 million. But just not really looking too clean right now. Not clean on the chart. So that one's a big no-go. Let's see. We had HOVR ran earlier in the morning and then sold off. So let's take a look at it. It had formed the descending wedge pattern over here. It did break out briefly. It couldn't hold above VWAP and has pretty much been selling off. So let's go ahead and clear some of the drawings on it. And let's take a look at what it looks like right now. And right now, it is pretty much selling off. So we have a graffiti pencil marked over here where it keeps dropping downward. It needs to break that downward trend. We'll see. We'll see. This stock has a history of diluting itself pretty quickly, so that's not really that attractive. NVFY is another one that's on the scanner right now. NVFY, not a heck of a lot of volume on this one. NVFY is up 37%, but there's no volume on it, so it's not really that interesting for me. Not at all. Not at all. Let's see. We're looking. What else we got? How about SGN? That one ran earlier in the morning as well. It was kind of choppy towards the end, but it did run. It ran 85%. 85%. You can see the choppiness in this. It had a high of 37 cents against. Again, these sub-dollar stocks tend to be very, very choppy, very, very risky. So unless there's some significant volume that pushes the price up, like you can see on this side, to me, it's not that interesting, right? And once they start to drop like this and, get below VWAP, we'll put a graffiti pencil where VWAP is, right over here. Less interesting. So we'll put it on a side chart for this one. SUGP was another one. SUGP that ran earlier in the morning. Let's take a look at it. It too had formed a descending wedge after popping up, right? It had to stay above 217. That was a key level where shorts would generally congregate and take it down. It couldn't maintain that price level, and then you could see that the shorts basically took over and took the price action straight down. So that's the thing. So let's go ahead and draw a descending line here, and this descending line is basically a downward trend line that it would need to break through to become somewhat interesting again. But quite frankly, it's gone down so much that to me it's a no-go. Okay, it's currently up 15%. It was up 77%. So for now, not really. NUKK is moving. Let's take a look at it. And it is moving pretty aggressively. Let's take a look at what's going on. 21, 22, 23%. They implemented a 1-for-8 reverse split on October 22nd. There is no current news. The float is low, 1.1 million. The volume currently 213 million, but look at that reversal. So this is a very scary situation when you have a top tail like that. So we'll put a mark at the high of the day, which is 293. But that top tail makes this not so attractive. That's pretty scary stuff right there. So, all right, let's keep on looking to see if we can find something that's worthwhile. Right. You know what I do want to talk about? So Bitcoin has hit $82,000 today. So there might be sympathy with certain stocks that deal with crypto mining like Mara. So I'm going to keep an eye on Mara. Riot is another one. Okay, but it looks like they've all popped and dropped so far. But the Bitcoin did go up to $82,000. So I'm going to see what happens with the cryptocurrency and keep an eye on these. These could be potential stocks that I might consider for myself for options trading. Again, not financial stock advice. It's what I'm talking about doing with myself, with my son. COIN, Coinbase, also another one. Okay, so these would be potential stocks that I might consider as option plays because of the general movement of cryptocurrency, in particular Bitcoin, BTC. And of course, BTC is also the ticker symbol of the Bitcoin mining ETF, right? So we got that going on. So we'll keep an eye on that. Let's see what happens. Looks like SGN has moved somewhat. Let's take a look and see what it looks like right now. It's trying to test VWAP, but again, very, very choppy. I don't like this price action. Okay, I need to see a clear break of VWAP in order for it to become somewhat more interesting to look at. So we'll pass on this for now. PWM, this is the stock that we gave to the Discord on Friday for today, and again, early pre-market 4 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. It pumped and ultimately dumped. It is a China stock. I'm pretty sure it's a China stock. So, the move that it made with the pump and dump, not a surprise whatsoever. They had news on the 8th. Prestigious Wealth acquires InnoSphere Tech. That was the news that came out. It came out at 5:09 Eastern Standard Time on the 8th, which was Friday, and we alerted it in the after hours to the Discord at that point, and we also indicated it to the Discord for this morning, and this morning it did go up 110%. But, as I like to say, what have you done for me lately? Bobo's in the house. What's going on, brother? How are you? I'm trying to do that serious type of stream, fellas. Ladies and gentlemen, the serious type of stream. Let's go and get that sharing going on. We're at 118 people. Let's go to 200. Folks, do you like the more serious stuff, or do you want me to jazz it up with some laughter? I mean, I don't mind. I'll do it either way. Which way you all want me to do it? Put it in the chat. Let me know. If you want me to be more subdued and more with the smoky voice and be more serious, I could do it. I could dance. I mean, I could dance, folks. I could dance. I'm like a multitasker. You know what I'm saying? But just let me know what y'all prefer. If y'all want me to be more comedic, I'll be more comedic. I could do that too. I'm versatile. DBL moms, get my dancing shoes. Get my tutu. Come on now. I'm ready to perform. I just can't sing. That's the sad part about it. But you and Doubles can sing, though, right? Yeah, you and Doubles can sing, so that's good. That's good that you guys can sing. I can't do it. Anyway, we're going to go and check out what's going on here. Let's see. We got anything else? Let's go back to NUKK. I didn't like that top tail that formed on NUKK, but let's take a look at it, see what's going on with it. Ladies and gentlemen, I did buy a new keyboard because my old keyboard was completely trashed. Top Success says he likes both ways. All right. I like that. Thank you, Top Success. It was good chatting with you last week, by the way. All right, so Nuke, NUKK with that top tail, right? With that top tail. So what was the story with that? It was the one that had the reverse split on October 22nd. So the reverse split was a 1 for 8, very low float, 1.1 million, but the volume is just not there. 383,000 shares, and a top tail. Not exciting at all. So this one, forget it. I would say a hard stop. No, it's got to do much better than that. Let's go to PWM. Again, this is a China stock. It's going to be very volatile. It is curling. It's way below VWAP right over here. So the greed pencil's activated. That's where your VWAP is. Okay. We do see that the 9 EMA is curling, but it just doesn't have the volume to really make it that exciting. I'll keep it on a side chart to keep an eye on it, but until we get some significant volume into it, and until it starts to really pull towards the VWAP, for now it's just cooking. Let's see what happens. All right, what else we got? Let's see. Zero seems to be moving. I didn't put Zero on the side chart. I should, because it's the leading gainer. Let me go ahead and put it on my side chart so I can keep an eye on it. All right. So Zero had left us with a head and shoulders pattern. Let's see if it's resolved itself. Okay, so now it looks a little bit different. Let's take a look at what's going on here. So right now, I'm going to get rid of some of these lines, okay? So we have a significant resistance area at 2185, okay? 2185 is where there is significant resistance. Let's go ahead and get rid of the head and shoulders pattern because we already established that that was, in fact, the head and shoulders pattern, and it wasn't breaking out, and it was a false breakout on a false bull breakout type of situation. In fact, it was bearish, and it did, in fact, break down. Okay, so the head and shoulders pattern was valid over here. Now what's going on is you have a general trend of price action moving upward. However, it's formed a potential double top. So you have a top over here. Let's go ahead and draw that. And you have another top over here. This is on the 1 minute chart. Let's take a look at it on the 5 minute chart. We can see that the RSI has pulled down, so it's not as overbought as it was earlier, but the candle, the prevailing last couple of candles are diminishing in volume, so that is also showing a lack of buyer sentiment in here. That being said, you do have a trend line, and now it's testing the level of where where the heads were, right? Where the former head was of the head and shoulders, right? So this was a head, and you had a shoulder here and a shoulder here. It's now testing that area. So this can either become a double top, which would be a bearish pattern, or if it keeps trending upward and gets volume, we could have another breakout, at which point there would be a resistance over here. But remember, this candle right here had that top tail. So that's always in the back of my mind that this top tail, this popping top tail exists here. So there's definitely a lot of resistance here. Now that being said, this is the leading gainer, okay, and it does have news. There's news that came out that they present preclinical data demonstrating CER 1236, killing ovarian cancer cells, lines without toxicity. So the news is schmexy, right? It's very schmexy. Float, a little bit on the heavier side, but it's a 22-cent stock. It's a 22-cent stock, so it's going to be very choppy. So float, 27 million. There's a ton of volume, 133 million, a ton of volume, okay? So the question is, does it stay as a double top, or do we have, let me get this line drawn here, do we have a pennant, right? So it's a similar situation. Last time do we have a pennant or do we have a head and shoulders? Now the question is it a pennant or is it a double top? To me, it looks more like a double top because you have a lot of top tails, but let's take a look at what it looks like on the 5 minute and see if we can get confluence on the 5 minute to verify that it's a bearish pattern. Let's take a look. Okay, so far it's holding on the 5 minute on the bottom trend line of the pennant. It needs to hold this bottom line of the trend line. If it does not, then you do see a double top here with these top tails right over here. One here and one here, and that would be bearish. So we're going to see what happens with that. Folks, let's get this shared. Let's get this shared. I'm going to stretch a little bit. Come on, let's get to 200 people now. We're at 131, folks. I appreciate it. Love y'all a lot. Let's get it on. Let's get some more people in here. Let's get some energy in here. Let's get some energy in here. I'm gonna have some coffee, some espresso ice. All right. So right now, we're gonna go back to the 1 minute. Take a look at what the volume picture on this particular stock looks like. Let's zoom in. And let's take a look at what's going on. Maybe not that much. Hold on, right there. There we go. All right, so this candle right now, only 100 and 200 and 300, 350, 400,000. But remember, when it was going parabolic over here, this stock was pulling on each 1 minute candle between 4 million to 4.5 million shares. So this looks like it's going to potentially break down from this so-called pennant, and in fact, it will be a double bottom, and that's what we're seeing. So, and it makes sense because look at where the VWAP is, right? If we get the graffiti pencil out, the VWAP's down here, and we can see that the 9 EMA is pretty extended away from the VWAP. So now the question is it going to continue to break down and pull, or will it reverse and form that bull pennant and pull forward? This candle right now does have 2.8 million shares on it, okay? 2.8 million shares on it. But it's having difficulty holding this trend line. If it can get above this trend line, and if the volume continues to come in, then maybe we could have a squeeze situation, because the shorts may be anticipating that this double top is breaking down, and with the volume it'll squeeze up. But if it doesn't have volume, you have a breakdown like this, and it looks like the bears are winning right now. That's what it looks like, and most likely than not, I'm thinking it's probably going to pull down and get closer to the VWAP. So let's keep an eye on it. And again, it looks like we have a situation where, once again, it was the bearish double top pattern that prevailed over the potential bull pattern. And again, this stock is creating a situation at this level where it's basically creating bull traps. That's what it looks like, okay? So far, it's curling downward. Again, it doesn't look like it's recovering from this trend line that we needed it to stay above. So most likely than not, I'm guessing it's probably going to pull back down further to the VWAP. If we see it curve back upward, again, we'll start taking note of what kind of volume it has. But right now, this candle, the 1 minute right here, 200,000 shares. And to give you an idea, this candle, in contrast to these candles over here, these candles over here were over 4 million shares, whereas this particular candle right now, 434,000 shares. So a lot less volume. And when there's less volume, you have less demand. When you have less demand, the price action the price action generally pulls downward. And you could see with the RSI, it's starting to go down. The relative strength index on the 1 minute chart is going down. You can see that the red is a multitude of red volume candles, and you can see that the volume has generally diminished significantly. So there's still plenty of room for the RSI to keep on dipping downward to the oversold area. So I suspect that this is going to continue to dip, especially if we can't get any volume in these more recent candles. This candle now, 378, 400, 500. So can it reverse? I don't know. We'll put it on the side chart. Right now, it's still looks kind of bearish to me. Let's see what else we got. We have LEDS, which is another low float stock that has just hit the scanner. Let's take a look at it. Doesn't look healthy at all. This is pretty disgusting right here. Top tail, so it spiked up, and then it created this top tail and came plummeting down. Not a lot of volume on it. 459,000 shares. No news on it, so this is not interesting at all. Let's go back to Zero and see what it's doing. That is the leading gainer, so if it can resolve itself and get itself back up, I'd like to see it try to break out. This is the one that I'm the most interested in. Again, not financial advice, not stock advice. I'm just telling you what interests me. I'm not a stock or financial advisor. I'm just Schmeck. Say, folks, let's get this thing shared. Come on now, 141. Let's go to 200. Come on, let's get that share party going on. Help me out. Can you help a brother out? Come on now. Come on now. Come on. Come on. Share. Sharing is caring. Come on. Let's get some more people in here. I'll have some espresso ice while y'all do that. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Okay, so it's trying its best to pull back up, but again, it keeps on having these top tails. And again, you do have more volume now. You do have 1.1 million. So I'm going to keep an eye on it, because this could potentially be trying to form that bull pennant. However, that being said, we still have the RSI in this mid-range. We still have volume candles that are diminishing in size. This is what it looks like on the 1 minute. Let's move it over here. Let's take a look at it on the 5 minute and see what kind of confluence, if any, exists. You can see there's still a ton of top tails here, right? And you can see that the price action is below this trend line. So this is still not resolved. We have a lot of red and green on the level 2. The MACD looks like it's on the backside of the move, so looks like it's going to keep pulling back for a while. But we're going to keep this one close to the vest, because it is the leading gainer, and volume could squeeze it. Could squeeze it. Squeezy, squeezy. Nice and easy, baby. SGN. I don't know, DBO moms. Meh. Looks like it's going to do a flusharoo. It looks like a flusharoo. Let me get the graffiti pencil out. Oh my. Oh my. It looks like it's going to do a flusharoo. Oh my. Okay. No, 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 no. HOVR, HOVR. Let's go check it out. Earlier runner has generally been trending downward. No, 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 no. I mean, it broke the downtrend, but so what? It's way below VWAP. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what I'm thinking here. What am I thinking here? I don't know. I don't know. Currently, it's up 55%. It had a high of 126%. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I think I'm going to go back to Ciro. Ciro the Bergerac. The Bergerac?
Yeah.
So what is it? The Bergerac? Wasn't he the fellow? Wasn't he the fellow with the big schnozola?
Yeah, that was him.
Cyrano de Bergerac. Cyrano. Top tails. We don't like top tails, DBL moms. No. Too many top tails on the 5. Let's see what it looks like on the 1. See, it's toying with this level, but it's having a lot of difficulty with this 2185. And the longer it consolidates like that, the more likely that it's going to keep pulling closer to the VWAP, which is down here at around 18 cents. So quite frankly, I'd like to see it pull deeper down towards the 18 cents and stabilize and hold. And then if it can stabilize and hold at this level, maybe we can see a nice clean break. But right now, that would fulfill the double top that we see over here, right? This top and this top. You know what I'm saying, DBL moms?
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about, right? It would fulfill that bearish pattern. And if it can hold the VWAP, maybe we could see a little bit of a curl. Curl, baby, curl. But until then, right now, I'm kind of getting bored of Ciro. Ciro, come on now. Come on, Ciro. Do something for me. All right, PWM. All right, I mean, it's curling kind of, sort of, but it's sub VWAP. It looks like the party left the building. I don't know. Not that interesting. Not that interesting. REVB, let's check it out. DBL moms, I'm still getting used to this keyboard. The new one? The new one? It's a little bit smaller. Folks, I went with a little bit smaller of a keyboard, a little bit smaller. If you were on last week, you saw that my other keyboard got completely battered by DBL moms. She abused it. She says that it's me, but we all know that it was her with her little typing skills. I mean, she's a rapid fire typist. How many words a minute can you type, DBL moms?
Oh gosh, I don't know.
100? 100? Can you do 100? Something like that? Something like 100, folks. Let's get that. Speaking of which, let's get 200 people in here. Let's do a share party. Let's do a share party. Come on now. Let's get some more folks in here, and we'll check out some other low floaters. Let me see what else they got over here. What else? Let's check out new. Let's see if it resolved itself. It wasn't looking so new back when I looked at it a few minutes ago. Okay, right, it curled, it broke VWAP. Let's take a look at this particular candle. Only 165,000 shares, currently up 28%. They missed earnings. That's what the news was. So that's not really great news for news. Float is only 1.3 million. Volume is 5.4 million, but it looks like it has formed a triple top. One over here, one over there, and one over there. So this is not that schmixy because I'm concerned it'll do that. So we don't like that. So let's go back to Ciro. Let's see what's going on with Ciro. Let's check it out. CERO. All right. Okay. All right. So what's going on with this one? This is the 1 minute. Let's go to the 5 minute. Let's get rid of some of the drawings. Let's neaten this up a little. Let's go ahead and neaten it up. Here we go. There we go. Remove. All right, we're removing some drawings. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna get rid of all the drawings. How about that? Get rid of all of it. Get rid of all of it. All of it. I tell you, all of it. Boom. There we go. All right, now the drawings are gone. So what do we got over here? Very, very extended on the 5 minute. Very extended. It could potentially be a pennant, right? But it is super extended. Let's see what it looks like on the 1. And on the 1, I guess I could give it a trend. It's generally trending upward. And I guess it could be potentially trying to form that bull pennant, but it doesn't seem to be ready yet. It needs to maintain this general trend. We had that double top, which was a bearish pattern here and here, and you could see the price action dropped. Your mic volume. My mic volume is muted. My mic volume is muted. Maybe it's because I'm speaking low. How about that? Is that better? Is that better? Do I sound clear if I speak a little louder? Just having like a little bit of a sore throat type of thing going on. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? There goes the breakout off the bull pennant. But again, once again, top tail. So this is a very funny stock. It will generally break out when you think it might break out, but it gives you a top tail and then it reverses. So the question is this going to be a continuation of a double top, which was here and here, and this was not the total flush down? And in fact, it's going to keep flushing down to VWAP, or does it keep this bottom trend line right over here and keep moving upward? And if it does keep moving upward, we could potentially see a break on this flat top pennant right here and potentially see a break to the upside. Again, volume is going to be key. This last candle, 2.6 million. Remember, all these breakout candles were in the 4 million and a half mark. So we still don't have. It was me speaking too low. Okay, I'll speak up louder. Let me get some coffee in me. Gotta refortify the voice. Hold on. All right. There we go. Okay. All right. So anyway, we want to see it maintain this price action above this trend line over here, and we want to see a lot less of these top tails. My major concern is that it still has those two tops right here. So you have a top here, you have a top here, and those could be prevailing bearish patterns, but it is holding this trend line, and it has significant resistance at 2185. So if it can continue to maintain the trend line, and I think that it's going to have to like slowly drift upward, we need to see if the 9 EMA starts to curl, and we need to see the VWAP start moving upward as well. That's another issue. Look at the distance between the 9 and the VWAP. There's still a tremendous amount of space here, and remember, the stock has already gone up well over 200%, so it needs to certainly be pulling back. It certainly needs to pull back. Let me see the chart over there for CERO. Let me see it. Click into it. There you go. Let's see what it looks like. Yeah, it's down to 197 right now. Let me see what the volume is on this. 162,000 shares. A lot of shares. Heavy floated stock, 27 million. It is a cheap stock in the 20-cent range. All right, so we're going to keep an eye on it, but again, this movement is not healthy. When there's not a lot of volume like that, there's a very good chance that it's just going to break down. And it had like what, 2 million worth of volume on the previous candles, and now the volume on this candle has dropped down to 1.3 million. So I think that if it could pull back closer to VWAP, it could be a healthier situation for CERO. Let's see what else is going on. Let's check out what else we have going on here. Let's see. Let's take a look at NUWE one more time. Let's see if it's moving up. Again, you definitely have a triple top here. It's going to need to break out of this area right over here in order to become at all interesting. This had news that was not necessarily wonderful. The news was that it missed its earnings. So, at best, this is going to probably be a very choppy stock, I would suppose. But we'll see. Ali wants to see WTO. Let's check it out. WTO. There's not a heck of a lot of volume on it. It is way below VWAP. Way below VWAP. So WTO, let's get some specifics on it. WTO is currently up 6%. It's a 34-cent stock. The float is 17 million on it. 17 million. And only 2 million in volume. So right off the bat, we need to see it move towards VWAP, but we don't have that right now. And if we zoom in, we're looking at the 1-minute chart. You could see that it is very much barcoding with very, very little volume. So this is not interesting at this point. Not at all. Not even a little bit. Without volume, not interesting. Back to CERO to see what's happening with it, just to check. And now it seems to be forming what looks like a potential triple top. Let me clean this up a little bit so you can see what we're looking at. let's get rid of these white trend lines because it certainly doesn't look like it's going to be a pennant over here. Right now, what we have is we have a potential top over here. So let me get rid of all of it so you can see what I'm talking about. Hold on. Get rid of the ovals, right? So we have, let's get rid of this. We know that that's a significant resistance area. So we have 3 tops right now. You got a top over here. You got another top over here. And you have another top over here. Okay? So that would be indicative of a pullback. And again, you know, I suspect that a pullback to VWAP would be about right. And that's what happened with this candle. But probably it'll still pull back to more towards VWAP. It is the leading gainer, so even though it has a triple top, I'm suspecting that it might meander near the VWAP, so we'll see what happens with that. We'll check it out. We're going to keep an eye on it. This is the one that I want to look at the most. Again, I'm not giving you financial stock advice. I'm not a stock or financial advisor. I'm just telling you what I'm looking at and what I'm sharing with my son because I'm teaching my boy how I trade. All right. And make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel and also to x.com at Coach Nick Money. At Coach Nick Money, we're also on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitch at Coach Nick Money. And of course, we're on TikTok at DBL Nicks, at DBL NICKS. And the screen name is Coach Nick Money. There is a link in the description and in the pinned comment for a 4-day trial of the Discord where you get more in-depth analysis than you're getting right now. So I'm giving you quite a bit right here of how I look at these stocks, but it's even more in depth in the Discord. And of course, you'd have access to all the early alerts that we give. For example, we gave PWM to the Discord after 5 p.m. on Friday, and this morning it ran 110%. And of course, we re-alerted it this morning to put the Discord on alert that this was happening. Okay, we're monitoring the microcap stocks from 4 a.m. in the morning Eastern Standard Time all the way to 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Who does that? We do. We do. All right, Laptop said on Zero, does the fact that Zero Therapeutics filed to sell 713 million shares of common stock create a cause for your concern? Always, always. But here's the thing. Most of these companies have shelf registrations, right? And if there's another stock that pops into the equation that happens to be more sexy, it'll definitely cause the previous stock to pull downward. The other thing is it also depends on how many shares are available to short these stocks, right? If there's plenty of shares to be available, in other words, easy to borrow, these stocks become much more easily much more easily pulled downward. Okay, so let's look at what's going on right now. It had that triple top, and it clearly pulled down. Now the question is, will it hold the VWAP? And a good question that Laptop asked is that he's basically saying that there's a shelf registration. So yeah, the issue with that is a lot of times people want to hold these stocks for days and days and days, and I don't know. I mean, I don't do that. You know, I can't tell you what to do, but I don't do that because most of these microcap stocks are in need of money. They have shelf registrations, and they're going to execute those shelf registrations to raise money so that they keep their doors open. I mean, wouldn't you do the same thing if you owned a business? Right? So knowing that, you know, I can't see myself holding these stocks for more than a few seconds to a few minutes. These are not, you know, investments to me. To me, they're trades, right? So, you know, I treat them as such. You know, people like, you know, they get upset if they can't get a 100% run on a stock. Well, I mean, if you've got the intestinal fortitude to deal with these type of dips over here, and you know, you feel confident that the stock's going to keep on going, that's you. You know, that's you. But me, I like getting in and out. I'm like the Marines. I get in and I get out. That's just the way I do it. I'm not telling you to do it. Again, not financial stock advice. That's not what I'm doing right here. I'm giving you a show, folks. Zol has a couple of tickers he wants to check out, so let's go take a look at them. Hold on a second. Let me get myself some espresso ice over here. Folks, we're at 172 people. Let's go ahead and share it. Let's get to 200. Come on. Come on. Let's make it interesting. 200. All right, so Zol wants DBGI. What's the matter, DBL moms? We got a stock that's running? Yes? No? No, nothing. Okay, so let's go check out DBGI. DBGI. Oh, I messed up. DBGI. Okay. All right. So what's the story with this? This stock has a history of flushing quite a bit. It's 12-cent stock, up 4% currently. Float 2 million, volume under 700,000, and it's basically barcoding. There's a lack of volume. It certainly will need volume, and again, the stock does have a history of flushing. It has popped up in the past, so it has popped up. But to give you an idea of the kind of stock that it is, if I go into a longer time frame, you can take a look at 180 days. The stock was trading at $4.90. Okay, and since then it's been collapsing. So, as Frog would say, it's a smelly cheese times 1,000. Frog, you just keep doing that, all right? You make me laugh, brother. All right, all right. So DBGI, like that. You know what I mean? It's like I'll even put it on a 5 minute to make it look a little less smelly cheesy. Okay, but you can see even on a 5 minute chart, it's barcoding and it's below VWAP, so it needs volume, and it has a history of flushing pretty quickly. It does spike, but then it flushes real quick. So you gotta take that into consideration. My pleasure, Zal. Let's go and see this next one. Zal wants LGMK. Let's take a look at that one. LGMK. So with this one over here, this one has a low float as well. It's 4 million shares, but the volume is only 1 million. So there's significantly less volume in relation to the float. Why is that important? Because the float is the supply of shares that are available. So that's your supply, and the volume is your demand, right? So it's basic supply and demand. If there's less demand than there is supply, the price is generally not going to go up. It's going to go down. So LGMK currently up 6%. It's a 13-cent stock. Again, another beaten down type of a ticker. They announced the adoption of a shareholders' rights agreement. I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means. I don't know. But we're looking at it, and it is generally trending up, but it's up only 6%. And it too has a similar situation. It looks like it's in slightly better shape than the previous stock in the sense that it's moving upward, and it seems to have somewhat more volume. It's trying to be above the VWAP. This is what it looks like on the 1 minute, but if we on the 5 minute, but when we put it on the 1 minute, you can see that it too is barcoding. So there's a lack of volume on this particular stock. And again, when there's a lack of volume, that is a situation where the market makers will come in to provide the liquidity that's needed for the stock to be bought and sold, and you could see how choppy that price action is. So this one's a one of those, not really that schmexy. ELAB. So, oh my. This one's a barcode too. All right, this is a barcode. This is a 2 penny stock. Okay, if it's that cheap, maybe it's in bankruptcy or something along those lines, possibly. Labs announces update and extension of pending offer to exchange shares of common stock. This was November 4th. Float is 13 million. Because it's so cheap, that's not horrendous. Volume 26 million, but it too is barcoding. And when they're this inexpensive and there's barcoding like this, and this is a really bad case of barcoding, unless there's significant volume, it's going to be extremely difficult to trade this stock. And you can also see that it does have a double top right here. So you have a top here and a top here. So this one needs to cook, and yes indeed, Frog, this is another smelly cheese.
Yes.
TPST. Barcoding. Same situation. This is a dollar stock, up currently just under 2%. Float on the heavier side, 24 million, only 266,000. So this one is not very attractive either. Okay, let's go back to Zero and see what the deal is with Zero. Frog says there's a tender offer out there for the company, so maybe it was beaten down so they can get it for pennies on the dollar. I don't know. Are you talking about ELAB? ELAB? Which one are you talking about? Frog, let me know which one you're talking about. Zal says, much appreciated. My pleasure, brother. My pleasure. ELAB. I don't know. Look, without volume, I don't care. I trade a little bit different than some people do. I basically look for volume, right? Some people look for patterns. I can trade either way, but I prefer volume because the bottom line is I like to catch the movement on the way up. That's just how I trade. Okay, I don't like waiting for a reversal to happen, because sometimes those reversals don't happen, especially in a market that is going sideways. Now, the past couple of years, it's been going down or sideways. Now it seems to be moving up for the past few months, but it's still choppy. So to me, I like to get in and out, but that's just my trading style. You know, some people do things a little bit differently. All right, folks, I want to thank y'all very much. I'm going to be streaming live on the private Discord. So go ahead and click that link in the pinned comment and in the description and take that 4-day trial. And you'll see even more in-depth analysis by me in my Discord. Okay, so it's a 4-day trial for $1.99. Go ahead and click it. Link is in the description and in the pinned comment. And we'll see you in the Discord. Love you much. It's Coach Nick Money in the house. Make a lot of money. Because I am Coach Nick Money, and I'm with the Bushy Tail Serengeti Specialist. The one, the only, the BMO.